Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making a classic French liquor called Crème de Cassis. This sweet dark red liquor is made from black currants and it is perfect for cocktails on its own, which is the way I like it, or even drizzling over desserts like cheesecakes, ice creams, fruit tarts, poached fruit, and even crepes. If you have a big crop of black currants like I do right here, this is an excellent way to use them. Now this is a blueberry liquor I made back in 2018 and it's my last bottle. I made it the same way as this black currant one, but I kept it for 4 years before straining it. I had a whole lot more which I already strained, but this particular one, I just had a whole large jar, huge one, and I just kept delaying and I strained it 4 years later, so in 2022. And let me just say that it's the best one I've ever made. So the longer you keep the berries to mature their flavor, the smoother and tastier your liquor. We wash the currants in 3 or 4 waters, making sure all of the dried leaves and other impurities come out. And as you can see, I didn't remove the stems because they're not toxic and they do not spoil the flavor of the finished product. So I just leave them in, but I make sure I wash them really good. Now you can use any type of berries and more or less sugar depending on how sweet they are. Because currants are a bit on the tart side, I will add more sugar. So basically 1 part sugar to 3 parts fruit. And for blueberries, I add 1:4 ratio. So 1 sugar to 4 parts of fruit. We layer the sugar and the fruit. I'm using organic cane sugar, but you can just use regular white sugar. So make sure that you use a regular sugar or just pure cane sugar, not brown sugar, because you don't want it to change the flavor of the liquor. It's gonna be more like caramel then and not like a real tasty fruit type of drink. I'm tapping down a little so I can cover it properly. I don't like to have the plastic saran touching the fruit. So then we make sure we cover the fruit with a plastic wrap or a tight lid so it won't attract any flies. If you have a big crop of black currants, don't worry, you can make multiple batches of Crème de Cassis and give them as gifts, like I'm doing here right now. Or you can use the black currants to make jams, jellies, or even freeze them for later use. I decided to freeze some for later because I had too many of them, so it was quicker for me. We then leave the currants on the countertop for a day or two so that the berries will release its juices. Make sure you don't let it to ferment because we don't want fermented berries. That's not going to work in this drink. So we want just enough time to release a little bit of syrup. My house is warm, so I left them out for a day and a half. Now what I have here is some homemade spirit of some sort, apple or plum. I don't even know which it is because I don't drink it. I got it from my husband's aunt, so I'd like to use that because it's homemade and organic, so why not? Otherwise, I'd just use plain vodka, of good quality, of course. I washed up some jars and now I'm just gently combining the currants with their own syrup before pouring them into the prepared jars. Now with the help of a wide mouth funnel, I'm pouring the currants into the clean jars and I leave some space about 2 inches. So I'm pouring the spirit or vodka on top, whichever you choose to use. Again, make sure you leave 2-inch space because the liquid might expand and it will just either explode from the gas buildup or just leak out. Wipe the rim with a clean cloth and then we seal the jar. So I'm just rinsing some of that syrupy sugar with the alcohol and I'm just adding it to the jar. And as you can see, I didn't have enough fruit in the jar, so I'm just adding some of the frozen ones that I saved just the other day. And I'm adding some sugar. I pretty much eyeball everything, but I gave you the ratios if you want to be more exact. And then I'm just topping it up with more of the alcohol. Give it a mix and then seal it up. In the first couple of days, I like to do a test and open up the jars to make sure that they do not have any gas. If they do, like my large jar did, then I gently release the gas and then I cover it again. But for safety measure, I like to use a dark kitchen towel so it won't blow in my face in case it's very gassy, because it can blow and it happened before, so just as a heads up. And so it wouldn't spill all over my walls either. We store the jars in a cool, dark place for at least 2 months to allow the flavors to mature, and we shake the bottles or the jars occasionally during this period. I almost never do, but it's recommended, so I don't know, I just do it once a month whenever I remember. But that's the proper way to do it. I will keep for a few months, probably until the fall before straining, so just in time for winter, and they store indefinitely because of the alcohol that preserves the drink. I hope you enjoyed making and tasting your own Creme de Cassis, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this recipe with your friends. In the meantime, check out my other videos and see you next time!